Hey, hey, it's your girl, Latanya Washington, your customer journey strategist, college instructor, and the owner of The Customer Culture. And so today, you all, we're going to be talking about how to start your business or scale your business using social media. So, right now, while the cool music is playing, make sure you grab your journal or your notebook. Make sure you get your ink pen or your pencil, get your markers if necessary, because you are going to be taking some notes. All right. While you are doing that, as a reminder, on September 9th, we have our first cohort Women's Business Mastermind that's going to take place for women between the ages of 35 to 45. And then on September 16th, which is literally the next week, they're both on a Monday. It's going to be for women between the ages of 40 to 65. That's going to happen. What you will also get with it is a workbook, and we're going to be going through that workbook. We'll be there for at least 2.5, 3 hours, you all, because we want to dig deep into many of this, much of this. I want to make sure that you get everything that you need in the process. All right. So now, you all, let's dig deep into this. When we're talking about how to build your business using social media or the social media platforms. So let me share with you the first thing, a definition of social media. All right. Social media here is literally being able to connect with people, communicate with people through the internet. Right now, I am using StreamYard and I am doing a recording, or many times I will go live stream and I'm connecting to you on either, uh, I can connect with you on YouTube. I can go live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. That's what social media is. So I'm utilizing these platforms, these internet platforms, to connect and to communicate with you and to also interact. All right. So now, when we talk about social media marketing, we're talking about the process of promoting a product or a service, connecting to an audience, as well as literally guiding people through the to a website, or it could be to a landing page. So I'm literally going through the process of, once again, I'm really connecting to my audience, but on the back end, I'm promoting my product or my service to an audience. All right. What has happened with the coming up of our social media and the internet, you all, we have the ability to connect with people around the world. All right. Many of you all probably remember traditional marketing, where we just were driving on the highway and we saw a billboard up, and we had to look up into the sky and try to read everything and not wreck the car, or getting what we call brochures in the mail, or we called snail mail, things like that. Though that's what we call traditional marketing. We got mailers in the mail, and hopefully they were connecting to the right people, but literally you're throwing stuff out there with the hopes that you do connect with people that would want that product or that coupon or that service. Whereas now, being able to utilize social media, we can connect with anyone quickly. All right. The key thing is ensuring that we are able to articulate what we do, what our business does, and then making sure that we connect with our actual audience, the audience that we are connecting to. Many times, what we look at, and if you noticed on, what was it, on Instagram, you're now able to just stop people from seeing your likes. They called it vanity, vanity, all vanity. You can show it or you don't have to show it. The key thing is, sometimes, we'll take stuff off because you don't want everybody seeing who's liking, because it's a trick to a lot of this stuff as well. But also, at the end of the day, the numbers that really matter are the insights, the metrics, the analytics that you want to see on the back end. Because many of you all should know this by now, and I know you have done it as well. People can see your post, or your video. They can see any of that and keep scrolling. They will love it uh, as a ghost. Okay, won't like it at all. And so many times, some people will like, some people may not. But when you look at your numbers and your analytics and your metrics, your insights, it's going to tell you your impressions. How many people literally saw this? How many people went to your profile? If you were running an ad, how many people saw this from your ad? And so now today we're going to focus in on, how do I build my business? How do I even get started? Or how do I scale my business utilizing these social media platforms? All right. So let's start taking a look at this, because for the most part, many times we don't do the first things first. And for inside of the platforms, you guys, you'll see where you already know you can put in your picture. We call it the profile picture. All of the platforms will allow for that. Or some people don't want to show their face, so they might just simply use a logo. You might want to use a logo or an avatar in regards to that. Now, here's the key thing to all of it, you all. Now, not only are we trying to utilize the platforms to build the business or scale or start, which means, what do we need? We need consumers, we need customers, we need an audience. All right. First and foremost, we need an audience, because now we're trying to build our follower base, because we got to have someone to talk to. All right. Now, another thing is, what we fail to realize, you guys, is not only are we looking to build our audience, but we're also looking to let the platform work for us. How does the platform work for us? It works for us through the algorithm. How does the algorithm work for us? Well, that means the content that we're putting out, it has to be something that people are searching for. It's something that's interesting. It could be something that is trending. All of those things go into factor. And so what begins to happen when you utilize certain words or keywords, either you have it, well, first of all, you can use keywords inside of your profile. We're going to get into that, as well as in regards to your content. All right. So now let's look at first what we need to do. We're going to start with the profile section first and foremost. Inside of your profile on any social media platform, you all, it's going to ask you for, of course, the photo. You put a photo, and as well, may ask you for a title. What do you want your username to say? It could be, your username could just simply be your name. Like, for instance, my name is Latanya Washington. Now, I might use my username because it's better searchable. If I'm at a networking event and someone says, "Hey, are you on Instagram? Are you on YouTube? How can I find you?" Hey, just use my name, Latanya Washington. I'm there. All right. Now, here's the key. When I'm utilizing the platform, you all, now I got to get real smart, because I want to be able to be found. I also want to be searchable for people that might be looking for my actual within my industry, or looking for someone to help them out for what it is that they're in need of. All right. So under the profile, I can have, or what I do have, and I'm on every platform, but there are certain platforms that I utilize the most. All right. Why do I utilize them the most? Because when I look at my numbers, I see where my niche down and targeted audience is actually a little bit more active. Okay. And so with that, you all, underneath the profile, you want to make sure that you tell people what it is that you do. So say, for instance, many people are content creators. So underneath the picture, underneath the photo, I need to let people know, content creator, could be social media marketer, yada yada. You want to definitely be very, very specific in regards to that, because now if someone's looking for a content creator and they're scrolling, they're in the search engine, they pulled up their phones, they're mobile. All right. Now there'll be a whole lot of content creators popping up. So you might even want to specify what type of content creator. It could be a lifestyle content creator. It could be a You might be an event planner. So it could say a wedding event planner. You all see where I'm going here? The whole goal is, what do I need to say? What value do I need to put there? So if I'm looking for that particular audience, I'm going to pop up in the feed if they're searching for a lifestyle content creator or they're looking for a wedding event planner. All right. So you want to make sure that those are considered to be keywords, you all. So you want to make sure that information is there underneath your profile picture. You'll have that on many of your platforms. When you get to YouTube, it's going to ask for you'll have an about page, and you'll put that information there, even inside of the banner on your cover banner on all of your platforms, or specifically if I'm talking about YouTube, I'll have my keywords right in there as well. All right. Everything now, you guys, is about the keyword when I'm trying to be searchable. All right. And so with that, you guys, you want to make sure that that information is there. Now, once again, I'm talking about how do we build our business utilizing social media. Now, we got to start from the ground and build up. You do not want to put the cart before the horse. Otherwise, you may have some great content and still people are not finding you. All right. So you want to make sure that you do that. So utilize those keywords. So I want you to begin to evaluate what is it that you're doing in the industry. All right. At the During the mastermind, I'm going to go deeper in depth with that, because there's certain things, how we find out what we're going to look at. What are people searching for? I'm going to show you how to begin to utilize that. All right. Doing the mastermind class. Now, what we then want to do in each one, it gives you a description. So now inside of the description, once again, we're sharing with people or articulating very, very clearly what it is that we do. All right. Once again, we're utilizing keywords inside of that as well. So when we're doing that, you guys, you want to be able to clearly articulate what it is that you do. And if you might be just starting out. This is why, you all, I also have a freebie that helps you know how to write out your brand, dealing with your brand strategy. Grab the freebie. Please grab the freebie. It's going to help you out a whole lot so you can articulate what it is that you're doing out in the marketplace, and it's going to help you determine who your target audience is. All right. We got to map some things out. Who am I trying to help here? All right. We're going to go over that too during the mastermind. So with that, you guys, like for instance, so let me give you an example. On my platform, it'll say, I help business professionals go through their digital journeys, build their digital journeys from scratch with a focus on CX, or the customer experience, brand awareness, and brand reputation. All right. So once again, let me repeat what it is that I just said, because I kind of fumbled around with that just a little bit. All right. Because I got oh my goodness, I got other platforms. However, they say it, the words are a little bit different, but they lead to the same thing, because one platform starts out with customer journey strategist. All right. So once again, in the description, now this is just for some platforms. My YouTube platform description says something different. All right. But it's still focused in on the same audience. So once again, I think that's what I have on this one, but I help business professionals build their digital journeys from scratch with a focus on CX, or the customer experience, brand awareness, and brand reputation. All right. Why did I say that? Because what are my keywords? My keywords are business professionals, because that's who I'm targeting. I would have put entrepreneurs in there as well, but it wouldn't allow me to put them in there. They wouldn't. I only had so many characters I can use. So my keywords are business professionals. My other keyword is, what is my other keywords? Digital journey, or customer journey mapping. My other keyword is what? CX. All right. My other keyword is brand awareness. And my other keyword, you guys, is brand reputation management. All right. And so I said those because I know if people are looking for any of those things, I'm going to pop up in the feed. All right. So with that, you guys, you want to be able to clearly articulate what you do and who it is that you do it for. All right. That's the first thing. So now we're looking at the next thing as we're building our business on our platforms. You want to make sure that you know who your target audience is. So now you have to identify your target audience and what is it that that target audience is in need of. So how do I begin to do that? All right. If I realize that my business is to help small business owners or entrepreneurs or business professionals build their digital journey. What is a digital journey? It's everything internet. It's understanding how customers go through journeys, but them being on social media, utilizing the social media platforms from brand awareness to even building a funnel. All right. So I'm creating all of these things that I'm helping business professionals, entrepreneurs, small business owners build it from scratch. Because when you're starting out, you really may not know exactly what it is you're doing. So we got to do this from scratch. All right. So we're going from here all the way to, as you also see in your profile, there is a link available. Well, why do we want people? Why is that link there? Because I'm leading my audience somewhere. All right. Whether I'm leading them to a landing page, whether I'm leading them to a website, whether I'm leading them to my YouTube channel where all my videos are, there's a link. Now, you always want to make sure that information is available there inside of that link because that's the whole goal. The process is to take you from this social media platform to either build my email database so I can stay connected with you or to get you to some type of membership, could be, or could be subscriber on my YouTube channel, but I need to know exactly what it is that I'm trying to do. All right. And so that's how we begin to build. That's how we take people and I help people go through that digital journey. All right. And so with that, you got to be able to identify your audience. And so when I'm trying to identify my audience, how do I begin to do that? Well, first, sometimes I go back and look at who actually has been connecting or who actually has been liking my information or who have I done business with in the past. What do they do? What are they? I mean, do they go to a 9 to 5 job? They've been to college, are educated, and still trying to run a business on the side? Could it be that they decided to step into entrepreneurship? You'll be able to know who your audience is by the connections, but you got to give it. This is the place where you have to start evaluating and doing some research. Another thing to do that is whatever business you are in, you can even take a look at someone else that is doing what it is that you do and evaluate the audience, evaluate the people who are maybe asking questions or they're responding to something, and then just go and take a look at their profile, see what it is that they do. Okay, I just gave you a nugget on that one right there. See what it is that they do, and then like, okay, I'm looking at this. If we're both doing this, even though my brand voice could be different, but this might be the type of people that would want my product or my service. All right. So a lot of it, you all, can be trial and error for you, but you have to be able and willing to take some time out to do the research and to do it. Now, another thing is on your platforms, you may have, or I always say, grab a business account on like your Instagram or your Facebook. Well, basically for Instagram, linked Instagram will only show you your numbers if you have a business account. LinkedIn, you have a regular account, it will show you your analytics. YouTube will show you your analytics. Facebook has what's called Meta business, what is it? Meta Business Facebook or businessfacebook.com. It's either Meta Business Suite. I know it's Meta Business Suite, but it is business.facebook.com. I believe that's what it is. Or flip it around. It's between the two. All right. And so it'll also show you your numbers. That place also allows you to create a content calendar. All right, I ain't gonna go further into that. I'm gonna just keep going to where I'm at. All right. Next thing is, you guys, you want to be able to specify your product or your service. Now, if I have a particular product or a service, I need to let people know what that product or that service is. So that means, you guys, if I have a link and I'm leading people somewhere, remember, I'm guiding people through that journey, that process, that journey. Not only do I need to be talking about it inside of my content on my platforms, but I need to be very, very specific on the type of product and the type of service that I am providing to my particular audience. All right. So you want to get very, very um, specific in regards to it. It would be crazy for me to say I help business professionals through their digital journeys, and I got fishing poles and fishing rods and bait on my website for sale. That has nothing to do with what it is that I'm doing. So we have to be mindful that everything needs to mesh together. Everything should coincide with one another. All right. So we want to be able to do that. And then, you guys, even in our content, you guys, you want to be able to highlight the value that you bring. All right. Now, in order to highlight what it is that you bring, once again, it will take a process. That means I might need to focus in on obtaining UGC, which we call user generated content, which means I may have obtained testimonials from people who use my product in the past. I can use that. I can share that information, or I can let people know I am also a college instructor, which is what I am. Now I'm bringing credentials. I can share information, or I can show a video of me doing some back end work. Maybe I'm an individual that puts together flowers. Well, I can show people how I put together the flowers. All right. So that also is showing the value that you're bringing to your audience. So once again, you guys, now we're building everything up. So that literally, now I hope you all are taking them notes. All right. That is what you want to make sure that you have in place as you are building. Okay. So now, when we start doing that, now we want to get into a little bit of strategy. All right. You really don't want to step into anything without having some strategy. All right. I call it brand strategy, strategic planning, whatever it is, you want to have some strategy behind this. So now you have to begin to think about, what is my goal? And then we can begin to break some things down. After you have your ultimate goal, maybe your ultimate goal is you want more customers, or you want more subscribers, or you want people to join your membership. I don't know what that thing might be. For most part, everybody wants sales. We know that. But in order to get to them sales, what is it that you need to do? And that's where we begin to look at our mini objectives. Remember, we're talking about, how am I going to build my business utilizing social media? This is how you begin to do it. And now I want you to understand how vital the social media platforms are to you, and how vital the keywords are for you. Now we're allowing the platforms to work for us, and we're not working for the platform. Now I'm gonna tell you now, though, you're gonna have to do some work, because it requires a lot of work. So now let's look at the fact where we want to evaluate this. I got my goal in place. All right, this is what I want. I want more customers. All right. So now we want to break it down even more, and we have to begin to ask ourselves, if I'm producing content, I have to ask myself, first things first, what is my goal for this week? What is my goal for this week? What do I want to do? Is it that I want to build my email list? Is it that I want to push a podcast? Is it that I want more followers, more clicks on my profile, or more visits to my website? Maybe I want to establish a brand new audience. So you have to sit back and you have to begin to ask yourself, what is it that I'm trying to do here? So say I'm trying to build my followers. So my goal for the week now needs to be, I want to build more followers, but tell yourself, I want to get at least 10 followers. I want 50 more. I need 50 followers this week. So now I've set a goal, 50 followers for this week. All right. So now I have to create content. Now, here's the key. Don't beat yourself up because you may not get 50 followers in that week, especially when you're building, because now it could still be trial and error. But here are some things that we are going to look at. And I'm going to talk about more of this at the business mastermind. Okay. You want to be a part of that. Now, the key thing is with that, say I want more followers. All right. There's a way to do it. You could do it either organically or you could do it through a paid ad. Now, if you're doing anything organically, you guys, it'll take a little bit more time than you running an ad, but organically, guess what you can do? You can collaborate with someone that might be in the business with you or in the similar business in which you are doing. So for instance, it could be, say I am a florist and I make flowers. Well, who would be a best collaborator for me? It could be someone who is an event planner. It could be someone who has a floral shop. So now I'm going through the platforms and saying who would be willing or who's open to collaborate. All right. So now all I got to do is do a search. I'm searching for florist. I'm looking for, brick and mortar floral companies close to me. All right. I can do anything like that. So I can look at collaborating with people, or maybe I can get someone, an influencer, a nano influencer. They may have up to 10,000 followers who would be willing to post for me on their platform to their people. Now, you always want to evaluate, are these people active? Or if I can run an ad. Now, if I run an ad, it's going to ask me specific questions. Who's my target audience? What interests them? What are their habits? What is their behavior? What do they like? It's going to ask you all these things. It's going to ask you demographics. Or what you can do, you can run an ad or you can boost a post. I always say try boosting a post first, so you can kind of get your feet wet, because it is like the mini me of running an ad. So even when you're boosting a post, it's still going to ask you, it's going to ask you, do you want to utilize, boost to the people that are already following you? Or it'll ask you to put in the information of the type of people that you literally want to utilize, or you want to connect to. So it'll ask you demographically. It'll ask you, what are they, entrepreneurs? Are they small business owners? Are they business professionals? It'll ask you. You just got to follow through. All right. It'll begin to ask you, and then you are able to save that. All right. And so I always say you can run an ad. You can boost one post. So here's the difference. When you boost a post, you're just boosting that post. When you're running an ad, that means you might be creating a new video. You're putting more in-depth information into something, and it runs. You can do an A/B test, which means I might create a video. I'm running a campaign. I might run a video, or I might run a static photo or something. Now, if I'm running a test, it'll then tell me which one is performing the best, whether it's the video or the static, and then I can stop the video if the static is running better. But it's still going to ask me, who am I going after? All right. But it'll ask me, I got to provide it with the link. I got to provide it with the headliner. I'm just doing a little bit more work. But let me tell you, once you start doing it, it'll come like water. It'll be easy for you. And so you want to begin to look at those things in regards to that. So the first thing is, I always say, once you know what it is that you're trying to do, you want to every week, what is it that I'm trying to do? So say for instance, I'm trying to push a podcast. Well, first of all right, I need to know what I'm going to talk about on that podcast, right? Then I want you to evaluate what platforms you need to know what platforms you're going to use for a podcast. Right now, I use StreamYard, but you have other podcast platforms that are out there for you. You have your Spotify's, you got other platforms out there. You just want to know which one. Go with what it is that you want. What is it that you need in regards to that? So if I'm trying to push a podcast, if my goal this week is to push a podcast, what is it that I need to do? All right. Now I need to put my duckies in a row. I need to be able to create a post and say, okay, I am going live, especially if it's a live podcast. I need to create a flyer saying I'm going live on Monday at 8 o'clock p.m. All right. I might post it on my platform. I'm still using keywords. Remember that inside of that post. Now I could tag people that I know and let them know that I'm going live. I could leave a message in the comments with information there. If I have already developed my email database, I can send an email out to my database letting them know I'm going live on Monday at 9 o'clock p.m. If I have if I use text messaging, I can send a text message out letting people know I am live. All right. You make sure you have the link in there. And so that is another way in which you're able to push your podcast. All right. And then, even in the podcast, you might have comments and people you're talking to your community. You're talking to welcome to the podcast, and you're talking and interacting depending on what type of podcast. It could be a video, like right now this is video, and so you are able to just be nice to people. All right. And so those are just a few things that I wanted to share with you just for now, you guys. There's so much more that we're going to be dealing with during the Women's Business Mastermind in September 9th, for ages 35 to 45, and then on the 16th, September 16th, for ladies between the ages of 40 to 65. Why did I break it down like that? Because there's certain things that people need at a certain age. A 65-year-old may not want the same thing that a 35-year-old. A 35-year-old could be just now starting a business, where a 65-year-old could be in business and just needs some more more in-depth information about a specific thing, or they could be just starting business too. We don't know. But I literally turned them into core cohorts and segments so we can touch bases on each and every one of them. All right. So that's it for tonight, you all. I wanted to share with you that information. All right. Now, if you have a question for me, feel free to hit me up at ask@latanyawashington.com. That's another thing. We're going to get into the fact you need a domain name and you need an email with that domain. But I digress, but I'll deal with that later as well. All right. Take care, you guys. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you when I see you. All right. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.